Almost every area of public policy and public spending is surprisingly under-informed by evidence. There's scarcely an area where governments work where there isn't a need for more use of data, more use of experimentation, more generation of evidence, fields where people were doing perfectly good practice and policy, but when greater rigor was brought to bear and greater formal experimentation, very rapid gains could be achieved.
Evidence is extremely important. Some people tend to say countries like poor countries or developing countries like in Africa are too poor to invest in evidence and data. But I like to say that it's actually because they are poor, the African countries, the developing countries are poor, that they can't afford not to use data, because you want to make sure that the limited resources you have are actually giving you the best value for money. So evidence is everything. It helps reduce our subjectivity when you're setting the priorities. It helps you understand what are the most critical issues you should focus on, and it helps you choose the right interventions that will give you the best value for money.
I think this forum will allow us to connect, but also to benefit from shared experiences and to share knowledge, which is probably the primary purpose of this exercise in this forum.
A global gathering is important for the use of evidence because different countries are at different levels of use of this. There's much we need to learn from each other. What seems to be very commonsensical and intuitive may not necessarily be what's the right thing to do. So understanding how other countries are using evidence, understanding what evidence is available from other countries so that we do not repeat the mistakes that others have done. So in that sense, it's important. The other is that we need to build a community of practice where we support each other in finding new ways in which we break both the administrative and political barriers around the use of evidence.
Hearing this common approach toward using more of the information we know about what works to get better results with the dollars we have was just really exciting. It's just exciting to feel like there's this common language that's being developed globally. It'll make it easier for us to borrow ideas from other countries. It'll make it easier for us to share what's being learned in other countries. And it'll make it easier for us to keep the process of learning and getting better at solving these problems.